Now, you're not going to have a country that can make these kind of rules work if you haven't got men that have learned to tell human rights from a punch in the nose.
The most famous filibuster in history was fictional when Mr. Smith went to Washington.
Either I'm dead right or I'm crazy.
You wouldn't care to put that to a vote, would you, Senator?
But over the years, there have been plenty of real and often ridiculous ones. Cato the Younger gets the earliest historical credit when he tried to thwart Julius Caesar's plans in ancient Rome. The word filibuster sprang from the Dutch word freebooter, meaning pirate or plunderer. It really took off in the U.S. Senate. Huey Long reciting salad dressing and oyster recipes in an attempt to block a confirmation. Bob La Follette nearly inciting a brawl by threatening to chuck a brass spittoon. And Strom Thurmond using a sauna to dehydrate so he wouldn't have to use the bathroom, allowing him to speak for more than 24 hours straight, which remains the record. In the 1950s and 60s in particular, Thurmond and a group of senators used the filibuster frequently to block civil rights reform.
It was Southern Democrats who were filibustering against their own party, and it was the Democrats and liberal Republicans who were voting to try to stop those filibusters.
The historian emeritus of the Senate, Don Ritchie, joined us this week with talk of eliminating the filibuster back in the news post-election.
Why do so many people support it if it causes so much obstruction?
It's frustrated people for hundreds of years.
Is there anything in the Constitution about filibusters?
There is a very small phrase in the Constitution that has a lot of weight in this, and that is that each House of Congress can write its own rules.
There are a lot of misconceptions about the filibuster. What's the biggest?
I guess the biggest is that people think you have to stand up and hold the floor by yourself for hours and just talk.
There are, in fact, silent ways to stall. Today, if someone does speak up, it's usually because they want media attention. Like Ted Cruz reading Green Eggs and Ham.
I do not like them, Sam I Am. I do not like green eggs and ham.
Or Rand Paul objecting to U.S. domestic drone policy.
Which had previously brought a challenge in federal court.
Fueled by milk and candy bars.
To the legality of the authorization to target al-Awlaki in Yemen.
Every time you have a majority that really wants to get something done, they object to the minority filibuster.
Today, the filibuster does remain an annoyance for any new leadership, and maybe always will.
I've discovered that there are some limits to filibustering, and I'm going to have to go take care of one of those in a few minutes here.
I think the talk about filibuster reform will probably be more intense at the very beginning of this Congress and won't be necessarily on the agenda after a while.
And then we'll just do it again in 2 or 4
Exactly.
years.
Right.
So one senator at one point tried to build a contraption to help with potential delays or breaks. It broke. We won't talk more about that since it's breakfast time, but a couple other interesting notes about filibusters.
I'm sorry.
The rules,
okay.
the rules have changed over the years so that you can't filibuster judges, and so the new administration will get judges through, cabinet members through. Legislation might be a slightly different story, and the rules also changed in the 70s to allow those silent filibusters too, so you don't have to stand up and talk.
You said that with such a straight face, Jeff. I can't believe
That's
you.
it, yeah.